morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Deep in the music behind every great song, there's an even greater story. I'd like to say what's up to everybody listening to us on YouTube, Amazon, Geo7, and all the great platforms streaming this podcast. And now we're on YouTube, so check us out on YouTube at Marquivas. Today we have one half of a group that's from a place that's near and dear to my heart, 603. Shout out to New Hampshire. Done a lot of, about 20 years ago, did an East Coast tour there and actually lived there for a hot minute. So familiar with the music scene, used to be familiar with the music scene back in the day. And today we have Eric of the Low Stakes group or band. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Can't complain. And we were just sitting here talking, of course, New England in the wintertime. Yeah.
Right, I'm in my studio and I'm wearing this because it's cold down here. Despite a little heater, it can't keep up.
So funny story. I used to work in Nashville when I lived there, and I lost my phone in the snowbank, and I couldn't find it until spring. After the snowbank melted. Unfortunately, the phone did not work.
Yeah.
So the meaning behind the band name, Low Stakes.
It was just, there's no heavy meaning. It was just we were getting ready to do some lunch gig on a Tuesday, and it was raining. We were trying to get some harmony part right.
Yeah.
And for some reason we were struggling with it. And I think I said, well, it's Tuesday, it's lunch, it's going to be raining. The stakes could not be lower, for this. So, we don't get it. And I said, yeah, we're the low stakes, and and I would just be the low stakes, but actually in North Carolina, I think, or South Carolina, there is a low stakes, which I did not know. I would have chosen a different name, so I had to go with the Low Stakes Band, which is kind of funny because there's only two of us. It's not much of a band, but any two people, I guess, could be a band, So.
Yeah. And then I read this is described, the music is for your smartest and saltiest friend.
Well, I'm in New Hampshire. I don't really have that many smart and salty people here, but I've just moved here, so I don't know many people, so.
Okay.
But that's an interesting copy there. I mean, you got to write something about why you're different from the next band. And there's so many words we can throw in, like the ever-present authentic, and you can put in, what's eclectic. That's always a good word. And it really tells you nothing, we sat around a long time and just figured, we're not in any way saying anything mean, but we're sort of saying what we want to say. And although we want it to be good, we don't really care if people like it or don't like it. So, in some regard, at least as far as the subject matter goes. And so I think that's kind of where that whole idea came from, as far as being salty and smart. We have some literary allusions, and whatnot.
Yeah. So
good.
No, I was gonna say, I'm a Navy vet, so I appreciate the salty, salt dog from the shipboard sailing and stuff. So I appreciated that.
Yeah. Well, I had one time I was asked to write some girl said, do you have any country music, And I did not write, I had no country songs at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wish I did, because she was rather attractive, And so I wrote this, I listened to, country radio for a couple of weeks, and I got the idea of the double entendre, that's the trick, not to be confused with the single entendre. And basically, I kind of wrote this song. It's called, the chorus, I just want to be frank with you. I want to do the things that Frank can do, like be frank, but actually be frank,
Be frank,
so,
I got you.
But a lot of my friends were, kind of literary types and whatnot. So I called it, after there's an Oscar Wilde play called The Importance of Being Earnest. So I called it The Importance of Being Frank. So they all appreciated that. And people who didn't know thought it was a country song. So I had to, split the difference there and make it work for both groups.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. And then the play on words.
Yeah,
so,
always fun.
Growing up, did you know that this is what you wanted to do, to be a singer-songwriter?
Had absolutely no idea. It wasn't, I've seen a lot of stories where, I heard my first Beatles record and I knew that's what I would be doing the rest of my life. And I went, to college. I studied structural engineering. I did that for years. And I started getting into bands, kind of by accident. I used to be at a apartment complex, and there was a pool there, and this guy would come out and play guitar, really good singer. And one time I went out and he started playing a song I knew, I started singing harmony. So it kind of got to be known. as like, oh, these guys are good. They come around. They come to every pool party and play. It was the thing we did. And someone there saw an ad. I was in Miami at the time. At the University of Miami, posted for a harmony singer for a wedding band. So she brought it to me and said, "Hey, you sing harmony. I thought maybe you'd want to do this." I just on a lark went out there, and I played a little guitar, and we tried a few songs, like a couple songs without any rehearsal, sing a few songs. And I tried my best to harmonize 3-part. I had to fit in with a husband and wife, make it work. Try this part, try that part. But they said at the end, sing a song that anyone you want. And I played a song, I forget what it was now, but it turned out it was their favorite song. So somehow by hook or crook, I got the gig, and that was kind of the beginning of it. I was probably like, 27 at that time. I mean, that's the first show I'd ever done. I suddenly in a tuxedo. I hadn't even owned one. So I'm a wedding band, playing, New York, all these songs, strange mix of music, but it's kind of good because you get a good sense of what works and what doesn't. And you hear a lot of different kinds of music. So that was my inauspicious beginning in the music world.
How was it? Because now I'm thinking about the wedding singer, right?
Right. Everyone says that, yeah.
How was that experience? Like, I know it helped you work on your craft, but how? Because I think of, when you think of bridezillas and doing photography, I used to do photography, did a wedding, and it was like never again. So how was that experience?
It was really cool because, so the guy that I played, I always stood next to him. The guy played saxophone. Turned out he was a University of Miami music student. And saxophone wasn't even his instrument. He was a bass player. I'm like, man, you're really good. And that wasn't really. But we would just like, what do you think of this couple? Is it going to work? It was kind of fun because you kind of look around and like, let's identify the drunk uncle and, let's figure out what's going to happen. You see all people, they do their bad stuff. Band can see it, but the head table can't, They get a lot of the groping and the reach arounds, and you're like, oh my God, look at, and just you're trying to like keep a straight face, And, they come around with these ridiculous, can you play the Led Zeppelin? It's like, sure, if you want, but it was the good thing about it that I discovered was that at the end of the night, all those cakes and all that beer, they just throw it away. So I said, hey man, what's going on with those cakes? And they said, we don't want them. We're going to throw them out. I said, can I take them? They said, sure. So I go back to my apartment complex. I said, hey, it's our birthday again. We got 5 cakes and a case of beer. And so it was a good way it's not the best food in the world, but that was kind of fun,
Yeah.
And just some of these weddings are awful. Like they have these people, why are they together? And it's not going to last a month, man. It's like horrible.
Oh my goodness.
Forget it.
So you get the precursor of like, oh yeah, this ain't gonna work.
I mean, you never know, but I mean, some of it's like the bride and the groom didn't talk to each other this entire. I mean, I understand when you're getting married in these big family weddings, you have to go see everybody and do everything, but they didn't seem happy together at all. They did a stupid perfunctory dance together, and that's that.
All the weddings cost money, right? So
they must have, man. They must have. But I like, the drunk uncle was good. There's always one guy who wants another set. But the contract said another set, everyone gets some. So I wish I was playing in some cool bar band, I really wish I was getting $20 and drinking beer. But I'm making like $300 a night, and this is back in the 80s, like I'm making money.
Yeah.
Doing nothing. So it was a funny time. I learned a lot. I learned how PA works and all that stuff I didn't know before.
Yeah. Man, that's cool. And as far as musically, who are your influences?
Yes. Well, I listened to radio for a lot of years, I mean, good songs. I mean, if I like the song, I don't care. I mean, it's not country music. It isn't rap,
Gotcha.
Growing up, I listened to the Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel, then Bob Dylan and the Eagles and Chicago. And, a lot of those, Fleetwood Mac, these people wrote great songs. They could harmonize, they could play, so that's what I like. I don't try to be like that, but that's probably my underpinning is in that area.
You know what I saw, speaking of Chicago, we went to it was a tribute band and the symphony. And they played it was Chicago tribute band and the symphony, and it was amazing. And I didn't know their discography and how just huge it was.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, good music. So when did the transition go from wedding band to then just playing your own music and
These are good questions, man. I like this. Yeah, love to tell this story, but I don't get a chance much without boring the shit out of somebody. So, I finally got into a cool band. It was a blues band.
Oh, okay.
So we played, it was neat because there's a guy, a lot of like West Coast jump blues,
Yeah.
and Willie Dixon wrote every song. If anyone asks you who wrote this song, get free beer, just say Willie Dixon. He wrote all the songs as far as I know. It's not true, but 90% of them. The guy must have written 100 songs, 300 songs. The guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I learned this. He had a really good harmonica player. He had some cool. We used to wear like wingtip shoes and hats and try to look like real, 50s kind of little kind of strange look like that. And we just did all these interesting songs, and that was going really well for a while. Somewhere along the way, I wrote a song that kind of fit the blues thing. I never can do straight blues. I don't know. 1, 4, 5, 12 bars. It's just, I need to mess with it a little bit. So I wrote a song that's bluesy, but not enough. And we played it a couple times. And then someone came up and said, "Hey, that was the one song there. Who wrote that?" Well, and I said, "Which one?" They explained it. Yeah, that was me. I wrote that song. That's really great.
Yeah.
So then I wrote another one, and then I had a couple songs and people liked them, but it kind of stopped fitting a blues band.
Gotcha.
Especially a very traditional blues band. We had guitars with like non-fixed bridges, like, those wood things that sit on there, take the strings off, they'd fall off, it's really amps that are falling apart, it had a certain kind of look and vibe to it, but I'm doing, kind of pop rock songs that don't really fit.
Mm-hmm.
So, somewhere along the way, I put an ad in, I found some guitar player and he knew a drummer and I did a couple of my own. We had back in those days, I think still today, you can go as an original band and play a single set and 3 bands will play,
Yeah.
And I managed to probably in a very short period of time, I wrote 10 more songs, which is surprising to me. They just started coming out.
Yeah.
And so we did our first gig, Churchill's Hideaway in Little Haiti in Miami, which every band played there. It's like it's a band with beer on the floor. It's an awful place, but it had a real vibe to it. So we played our first set there, and that it was kind of the beginning of the beginning. And I said, wow, I just played 10 songs that no one's ever heard that I wrote.
Yeah.
So it was a strange moment for me.
So speaking of writing songs, man, what is your creative process and what inspires you to the songwriting?
It's weird because my creative process is very simple. It's strum and mumble. I just strum guitars and play things and whatever once in a while some words come out. And then I'm like, what's that about? And I like that. It feels good. Those words fit those chords nice. And then I kind of backtrack and then I think about, what I know, what I care about, what's interesting to me. I did find it interesting that someone back to the apartment where all the people I bring the wedding cake, I finally set up I finally started playing out in the street festivals and whatnot. Some of those people came by and saw me and they're like, "Oh, there's Eric." And waved. And they said, it's so weird to hear these songs because this is stuff we were talking about sitting around the pool, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I realized then it's sort of just read everything, do everything, talk to people. And it's sort of a filtration process that I don't know how it happens, but somehow it goes in and rearranges itself and comes out my mouth while I'm strumming a guitar. And then it's for me, it's a bit of it's almost, sometimes I can write it I don't know. When you have the right idea, it almost seems like when you know what you're saying, I can almost write it instantly. A lot of times I don't know what I'm saying. Gotcha. And I'm thinking, what's this about? And I'll struggle, lines are coming out, but I don't even know what I'm singing about. And I have to sometimes really dig deep to figure out what that thing is. And then once I know, I can write the song, It's therapy, really.
Yeah, because I like what Quincy Jones, rest in peace, he would say when you're creating, you have to leave space to let God in the room. Or even some of the songs I wrote, sometimes I'm won't listen to it for a while and then I'll hear it and be like, where was my headspace when I wrote this? Because I don't remember what level was I at when I created this song.
Yeah. It's a really, I love it and it's terrifying at the same time because it comes from God or whatever. It comes sometimes and other times it doesn't. And I don't really know how to make it happen or not, but it's happened a lot of times at this point. I don't worry about it really, I get stuck. I have 50 songs I'm working on, what do I do with that song, but it'll come. And then a new one will come like brand new, and I'll write the whole thing and have to go back and look at those 50 again.
And you mentioned being a street performer. How was that experience?
No, this is just that we had a band, and they had like
Okay.
they just had a festival, and they hired bands, and we got.
Well, got you.
I wasn't alone in the hey, I mean, I've done close to that, but it just seems like nobody cares. I mean, you're out there. I don't like playing totally alone.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but I just like the harmonies. Like I think in the low stakes band, because I'm an acoustic duo, I'm playing guitar and plays a little guitar, but mostly sings. And basically, I can only do about like 30 of my songs, because at a certain point you need drums and bass, and I have a lot of more rocking tunes that just don't fit an acoustic duo. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping to build that soon.
And how did you meet the other half of your band, and how did that
Really exciting story, Craigslist.
Okay.
But I just put an ad out. It was funny because I've been applying. I've been doing this ad for a long time, wherever I live, looking for female harmony singer, must have an alto voice or a lower voice. The soprano is hard because, here's my voice note and the harmony notes here, but they feel better doing an octave above. And it gets too far away. So I want altos, So I said something like, sopranos need not apply, And then I used to put in, like, if you have an insecure husband or boyfriend, don't even bother. Because, these women, they call, I like your music, I love to do it, let's get together. And then I talk to my husband, he doesn't think it's a good idea. It's like, well, just slap him, Just get rid of him, we don't need that. Yeah. He's in our way, man.
Yeah.
So it's just, she's married to this really nice guy who's also a musician, so he gets the whole idea.
He gets it. Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, he's never a problem. He comes to our shows. So, it's fantastic. So it's a good deal now, but I've had a lot of trouble with that whole thing,
Yeah. No, I've had issues where when I was younger and heavy into music, I'd be dating somebody, and when I was working on the album or during the album phase of working, creating the album, I'd end up being single because it's just like I need my space to create, and then.
Well, yeah. You need huge amounts of time.
Yeah.
And I think you can attest to this. Even though someone says, okay, I'm going to go shopping, you got 3 hours. It's a lot of time. But once they put a limit on that, I start feeling the pressure of like, I'm running out of time.
Yes.
I needed endless horizons of time where I could just lay on the floor if I had to and just try to really feel what I'm feeling. And sometimes that's difficult to get in this world.
And then, like you said, sometimes when that creative spark hits, it hits.
Yeah.
You don't know when it is, and like, hey, I gotta capture this. Like a lyric or something will get in your head and be like, I gotta do this.
I just hate when it happens in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
And I open my little phone and I click on the audio recorder, I don't know, one of the apps there. And I'm clearing my throat because it's the middle of the night, and I'm like, trying to sing something with some melody that I might recognize in the morning, and sometimes I listen back, I'm like, I have no idea what this is about,
Yeah.
But I'm constantly sending myself memos, voice memos, driving, playing, I'm practicing, I think of something. I'm like, okay, I got a capo on 2. It's this chord, that goes to here and goes to there. And then I listen back later and see if something grabs me,
So I know as far as the discography, La La Land, what other songs do you guys or albums that are out there?
Well, we only have this one album now. I mean, I have other albums before that I've done.
Okay.
But the Low Stakes Band, literally because it's an acoustic trio duo, we could just do it here. I didn't have to go anywhere, I mean.
Gotcha.
Half of them, I played guitar, we sang, we did it almost live,
Okay.
And then I'll come back and overdub another guitar. And then maybe I'll pick up the bass and play just to fill it out. And my drum is whack it on the side of the guitar, just to get it some kind of beat.
Yeah.
So that shakers, real minimal stuff, so that it sounds, I didn't want to do an acoustic duo and then sell them a record with full production. It just didn't. I wanted it to kind of sound like if you heard that and then you heard the record, you say, oh yeah, I recognize this song. I know these people, So
yeah.
it's only a 6-song EP. We might add to it. I don't know. Kind of doing it a song at a time, so.
And one song that stood out to me was, it's called The Dash.
Yeah.
And
that's what we're releasing right now.
Yeah. And man, I like the concept. And then because it makes me think of, like, we talk about, well, I think that was a church sermon where somebody was talking about, somebody's life. You look at the tombstone, you look at the day they were born and the day that they died, but the important part is the dash in between. And that's what it made, like, it hit
Yeah,
to me.
exactly. There's a poem somewhere
Yeah.
that I forget who wrote it, some lady. And I think I got the concept from someone posting it when, on Facebook when someone we knew died. Like, the so-and-so died, here's a poem.
Yeah.
And I read the poem and I thought, well, that's a great idea. But I felt like the delivery of it had a little bit of like, roses are red, violets are blue, I'm gonna die and so are you. It had a little bit of a,
Yeah.
didn't, it's like the meter and the kind of Moon and June rhyme scheme sort of worked in my mind against a really deep concept. So I thought, I'm just going to take the idea and write a song. And, it's a little challenging because you got to start off explaining what actually the dash is,
Yeah.
And I forget how I did that, but first and final day, the first and final breath, I figured a way to do that. And then, I just went from there and just, adding things in. But I felt like the music and the words that I used have some reverence to the subject as opposed to just, it's maybe bad poets shouldn't have good ideas. I don't know. It was just, it was a shame to me because she had a really good idea, but I just thought the delivery was a little bit, so like, da 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 da, your cash, da 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 da, the dash. I'm like, come on, try harder, it's a good idea. So I just, of course I made the music, and I wrote all new words to it, but I use that concept.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like your focus on the lyrics and then the mood of the song. And you could appreciate this too, because a lot of mainstream is cookie cutter for the moment. And it's just like, where the songwriting, the pen game. And I appreciate that one of your you like, hey, this is music for people who appreciate lyrics and moods.
Yeah. And so, and I don't think many people actually do. I mean, they might if you were big and everyone knew who you were. Half the time you're in some bar, like I try not to play at bars because especially if the TV's on. Like I won't even do it. You go to a bar and they got a game on. I'm like, not playing that. It's just counterproductive. I think I got him to turn the TV off once at a place he played. I said, anyone watching that? Can we turn it off? And they turned it off.
Yeah.
But you have to get the right kind of listening room where people actually want to hear the words.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
And it's
true.
kind of nice though with a duo, you can actually get the words heard. I don't know what kind of bands you've been in, but in a lot of band situations, you'll have a guy who wants to mic the drum kit. And they get that sounding huge, and then they come along with like, let's get the bass on top of that to go with it. Play the kick drum and the bass together. Okay, that's got a real thing. Now, by the time you get everything layered on, there's like, here's the room. You got this much left for vocals. So, no one hears anything. You're screaming all night for no apparent reason, and no one hears anything. So at least with this, I can get the mix the way I want it and be heard as far as what we're actually singing.
No, you're actually right, man. Because I've been to concerts and it's just like, oh man, it's a lot going on. It's nothing like nothing like the album, and things get, like you said, things get lost in the other instrumentation.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for coming to the show and sharing the stories behind your music. So my last two questions: 2026, what does it look like for the Low Stakes Band? Where can people find you? Shameless promotion.
Yeah, I mean, we have a website. I don't know what it's called. It's probably lowstakesband.com or something like that. If you Google Low Stakes Band, you'll find that we're on Spotify. We're on Instagram. You can follow us there. We keep up with that page so you see what's happening. As far as 2026, we're probably going to make another album along the lines of what we did before. We have more songs and just to separate and do a couple things differently now. But I am working now with a drummer, and I'm possibly going to put a more full band together.
Okay.
So I'd like to be able to play a duo, some stripped down kind of thing, and then also a full electric guitar, acoustic guitar, bass, drums, a 3-part harmony, make a real thing. So I'm kind of hoping that happens this year. It's a lot more work, but I'm excited about the possibility of playing electric guitar again and really hit that thing. I mean, I'm a rocker who writes some quiet songs.
Okay.
I'm no folky, I'm not a folky.
There you go.
Folk people, I am not a folky.
Okay.
I went to Colville Folk Fest. I got invited to play there.
Colville.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, my family. Yeah, I'm from San Antonio,
Oh, you
so I'm
know it
from.
well then, the hill country
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, I'm familiar with
And
Kerrville.
I'm
Okay.
playing there and like, I got to do the new folk they call it. You get this
Yeah.
competition, you perform. And after a couple nights in the song circles, I thought, man, I ain't a folkie. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have songs that could fit the genre a bit, but I just realized this, nothing against it, but I just realized I'm much more not this. But
yeah.
it was a great time, I had fun. Didn't rain that bad, the dust kill you.
Oh yeah, oh
But
yeah. Hill country.
Caliche, Caliche dust.
So, last question: what does music mean to you?
Music means to me a way to express myself and a way to kind of express myself in a way to get in touch with things that, while I can enunciate them in my own words, I think I can really enunciate them better with a song when I really feel something and can put it together, because you have to get all those ideas into one distinct song. And that, I think, the only then can I really feel the feeling of what I was trying to say. Instead of writing, I can write hours and hours of writing, but you can put it in. Philadelphia is a really good example. That song was, one where I think I thought about it for 20 years. Like I had the
Wow.
idea in my head. And every time I go there, I think, I got to write a song. That's where I'm from originally. But that song encapsulated, 20 years of feelings in one song. So that was important. It's important for me. In some ways, it's all very cathartic for me. It's a way to heal yourself.
And then that's the challenge too, like 20 years and 3 minutes.
Exactly. And, I think I wrote that song. I had to write it 4 or 5 times, all kinds of different weird ways. And I gave up on it several times. But I finally managed to say, I can feel this. When I first wrote it, I had trouble getting through it. I would kind of choke up a little bit. So, okay, that's good. I got it,
So Eric, thank you for being on the show and explaining the story behind the music. So we got Philadelphia. I know you guys have La La Land.
Right.
The latest and greatest release coming up is The Dash. And ladies and gentlemen, you have the website. Check them out. And I guess another question. Any shows in the New England area coming up that we
we have one. Last summer we played a library gig, and I guess all librarians know one another. So like a week later, we got a thing from the Kingston Library. I think it's on my website under events, the gig.
Okay.
But we're playing at the Kingston Library, and then, which is like 11 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of an odd time, but we're playing there. I think February 21, but I don't expect y'all to remember that. You can look it up, But, that's the first one we got. We got a couple other things on the calendar, but I've put out all the emails I'm going to follow up on them probably tomorrow on all the emails we wrote. I'm trying to get some.
So ladies and gentlemen, another great episode with one half of the Low Stakes Band, Eric, and myself, Marquivas, signing off for Deeper Than Music. And also subscribe, like, comment, let us know what you thought about the gig, the interview, and also follow the group and keep up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for Deeper Than Music.